Watch closely. These penguins are not just cute, they're recycled magic. If you've ever caught yourself smiling at a penguin, this garden surprise might just steal your heart completely. In a cozy corner of the backyard, the magic of creativity meets environmental kindness. A penguin water parade made entirely from discarded plastic bottles. This idea was born from the principle of observe, mimic, and enhance, the classic DIY triad. Inspired by simple materials and even simpler joy, a humble plastic bottle is transformed into a charming penguin, complete with big round eyes, a round belly painted in white, and a bright orange beak that pops against a natural greenery. Around the pond, several more join him, each one slightly different. Some tall and proud, others tiny and curious, forming a delightful frozen parade around the water's edge. At the heart of the pond, a bottle-turned fountain springs gently into the air, its clear spiral structure made from layered bottle cuttings, catching the sunlight like glass. Water glides down in a playful twist, landing gently in soft ripples. And beneath the fountain, real koi fish dance with the reflections. There's no high-tech equipment here, just craft knives, leftover paint, a few screws, and time, the most precious ingredient. It's not just about art, it's about connection. With nature, with our children, with the waste we once ignored. Tips? Use a matte sealer to protect the paint from sun and rain. Add tiny accessories, like mini scarves or hats from old fabric, to give each penguin personality. And remember, imperfections add charm. This is not just trash turned treasure. This is a backyard sanctuary where whimsy waddles free. The swan that floated from forgotten things. In the quiet shimmer of an early garden morning, something graceful glides across the pond. A swan so still, yet full of life. Its wings catch the light with a delicate silver sparkle. But this is no ordinary swan. It was once a forgotten tire and a handful of discarded forks. This design began with the idea that grace doesn't come from expensive materials. It comes from vision. Using the simple technique of reshaping and repainting, a worn tire becomes the elegant curve of the swan's body. Its neck, lovingly bent and sealed, completes the silhouette. But it's the wings that mesmerize, layered spoons and forks. Their plastic shimmer softened by sunlight, fanning like feathers that almost move. The swan floats not in solitude, but among bottle-bottom water lilies, hand-painted and gently bobbing. It becomes a centerpiece not only of the pond, but of the imagination, a moment of awe for children, a story of transformation for visitors, a nod to sustainability for us all. Practical tip: drill small holes in the tire base so it stays semi-submerged. Anchor it with hidden weights to ensure it drifts only slightly. For the wings, pre-glue your fork fans before attaching them to the body. And don't skip the paint sealer. It keeps your white swan pristine, even through rain and sunlight. This project isn't fast, but it's slow in the most beautiful way. A weekend in the backyard, an old tire, some plastic utensils. And suddenly you created not just decor, but poetry in your garden. Let this swan remind you, elegance doesn't need money. Just love, patience, and the courage to see beauty where others see waste. A sleeping cat in a garden of blooms. There's something deeply calming about a sleeping cat, even more so when it's tucked between colors of blooming flowers, in a garden where each petal tells a story, not a florist, but of a creative soul who saw art in waste. In the corner of this backyard haven, on top of an old tree stump, lies a serene feline made entirely from a plastic bottle. Its shape is curved gently, paws folded beneath its body, and a soft smile rests on its hand-drawn face. Painted in soft whites and grays, this cat looks so tranquil that even butterflies seem careful not to disturb its slumber. A pink bottle cap rests like a beret atop its head, a whimsical little nod to its homemade charm. But the magic doesn't stop with the cat. Around her, other plastic bottles have been lovingly cut, trimmed, and painted into planters that pop with color. Vivid reds, sunny yellows, and sky blues house real blossoms that stretch toward the light. The entire scene becomes a miniature world, restful, radiant, and completely recycled. Here's a tip. Use a soft acrylic paint for the base layer, and don't be afraid to blend two colors for natural fur effects. Draw the eyes closed, with light upward arcs and a tiny triangle nose. Simplicity makes it sweeter. Add weight to the inside with pebbles, so the cat stays grounded in breezy weather. This isn't just a cat. It's peace. It's a reminder that beauty can curl up quietly in the smallest corners of our lives, even in what we once called trash. Take a deep breath, slow down, and let your hands bring stillness to life. A chick that hatched from hope and a plastic bottle. Some things don't need to be grand to be beautiful. Sometimes, it's the tiniest surprises that bring the biggest smiles. In a garden pulsing with spring blooms, a bright yellow chick peeks shyly from its shell. A shell not born from nature, but sculpted from the humble base of a white plastic bottle. This sweet chick is the embodiment of joy, innocence, and imagination. Its eyes wide with wonder, beak painted orange like the morning sun, and little feather strokes flickering softly across its painted body. The shell, cut with jagged edges, mimics the perfect randomness of a real hatch, a moment frozen in time when life first stirs. But there's no real life here, just a gentle illusion made with care. Placed among a bed of bottle planters brimming with tulips, daisies, and trailing petunias, this chick becomes a heart of a blooming scene. Children pause to stare, garden guests chuckle, and the artist, you, smiles knowing it came from your own two hands. Want to try? Choose a soft, squeezable bottle for the shell. Thinner plastic makes neater cuts. Use a small sponge instead of brush to dab paint and get that fluffy texture. And don't overthink it. Imperfect edges give charm. Add a touch of gloss to the eyes for that little sparkle that makes it feel real. This isn't just decor. It's a quiet celebration of second chances. For bottles, for forgotten corners of the garden, and maybe even for ourselves. In a world rushing forward, pause and hatch something sweet. The gentle fisherman who fished with a spoon. He doesn't speak. He doesn't blink. But there he stands, patient, whimsical, and wonderfully odd, casting his line into the pond not with a hook, but with a silver spoon. Made from an old plastic bottle, this tiny fisherman has become a beloved figure in the garden. Painted in vibrant hues, blue jacket, orange gloves, and yellow boots, he perches confidently atop a recycled black tire that floats gently on the pond surface. The tire itself is no longer just rubber. It's been transformed into a lush planter, bursting with greens that sway softly in the breeze. This fisherman's world is simple. Water ripples quietly around him. Dragonflies pass by. Real koi fish circle curiously beneath. He waits, not to catch, but to tell a story. A story of what once was trash, now reborn with color and character. And maybe that's the beauty of it. To recreate this scene, fill an old tire with lightweight soil and hardy plants. Succulents or pond-loving greenery work best. Secure your bottle fisherman with wire or stakes into the soil. For the fishing rod, a bamboo skewer and string will do. And don't forget the spoon. It's the punchline, the sparkle, the magic. Let him float freely or tether him with hidden twine to keep him near. The gentle drifting brings a kind of serenity to the space, like watching a memory move across water. This isn't just DIY. It's storytelling with sunlight, laughter with no voice, and a reminder that even still figures can bring joy to the everyday. Because sometimes the best things in a garden are the ones that do absolutely nothing but make you smile. The lily pad host who never hopped away. In the heart of the garden pond, where sunlight meets still water and dragonflies hover like whispered secrets, a frog watches over everything. Not with croaks or leaps, but with a smile carved in paint. This little guardian of joy is made from a plastic bottle. A creature born not in swamps, but in human imagination. Painted a bright, leaf-like green with bold, round eyes and a red smile that stretches with silly delight. This frog rests proudly on a lily pad cut from craft foam or old plastic trays. Painted blending with the real ones drifting nearby. He's not alone. Beneath him swim koi in colors that catch light like stained glass. Around him, other DIY companions cheer from pond's edges. Penguins, turtles, maybe even a lobster or two, but he remains a centerpiece. Not just because of his charm, but because he hosts it all. He is still, but in his stillness, something moves inside you. To recreate his joy, start with a soft plastic bottle. Trim it to form a rounded frog shape. Add legs cut from green foam or bottle scraps, and bottle caps for raised eyes. Don't be afraid to exaggerate. Larger smiles and eyes are what make him magical. Anchor him to a painted lily pad with hot glue or waterproof adhesive. Seal everything with outdoor varnish. This frog doesn't ribbit, but he radiates. In a world often too fast, too loud, too disposable, he teaches us to sit, to smile, to watch water ripple under the sky. He is play. He is peace. He is the unexpected joy of giving life to what was once thrown away. The lobster who laughed by the fountain. He's not real, but he might make you laugh out loud like a child again. Perched like a cartoon escapee from the ocean, this red lobster sits proudly on the pond's edge, bold, bizarre, and entirely made from what you once threw away. With big googly eyes that seem to follow you, outstretched claws fashioned from curled plastic strips, and feet that never scuttle, he guards the water like a comic statue of joy. Beside him rises a different kind of spectacle, a water fountain so clever you'll forget it's made from plastic bottles. Its clear layers are cut into pinwheel flowers, spinning slowly as water trickles and splashes down from the center. The droplets sparkle in the sun. Real koi glide to the fountain's rippling base like curious spectators. This scene is ridiculous, and that's what makes it unforgettable. The lobster doesn't match the serene koi. He doesn't fit the calm greens around the pond, but that's his gift. He's unexpected. He makes the garden smile. Want to make your own? Paint your plastic bottles cherry red with a glossy finish. Cut and curl segments to make claws and antennae. For eyes, glue large white circles on black bottle caps and mount them high on wire stems. Let your fountain rise beside him. Stack bottles cut into star shapes, fastened with skewer or central rod. Water running gently from the top with help of a hidden pump. He won't pinch, but he will grab attention. This lobster doesn't belong in nature, but somehow, in the warmth of your backyard, he belongs more than ever, because sometimes the garden doesn't need more perfection. It needs more play. The owl who watched over blossoms. He doesn't hoot. He doesn't fly. But in the quiet of the garden, this little owl watches over a patch of color. With eyes wide and full of wonder, born not from feathers, but from plastic, crafted from a single bottle and a handful of paint, this owl perches like a sentinel of creativity. Its eyes, impossibly large and glowing yellow, seem to glow with curiosity. Its painted plumage, a mix of warm browns, soft whites, and gentle strokes, give the illusion of feathers. Tiny orange feet peek from below, and a blue bottle cap sits playfully atop its head, like a crooked little hat. But he's not alone. Surrounding the owl is a patchwork of handmade flower pots, each one a bottom half of a used plastic bottle, turned upward like a blooming tulip, painted in colors so bright they rival the flowers they hold. Turquoise, tangerine, sunshine yellow. Each planter becomes a little celebration of life and color. Want to create your own owl garden patch? Use thicker bottles for the owl's body, ones that can hold shape well when painted. Layer the paint for feather depth, starting from dark to light. For the eyes, go big. The bigger, the better, and give them highlights to make them pop. As for the planters, scallop the top edges for a soft flower petal effect, and don't hold back with the colors. Together, these creations turn a corner of the yard into something storybook-like, a place where trash turns into guardians and blossoms grow in vessels that once meant nothing. Let the owl remind you, even the most ordinary bottle can become something wise, whimsical, and full of beauty. A panda's gentle hug in the garden. In a patch of green where flowers whisper to wind, a little panda sits quietly, arms wrapped around itself in a gentle embrace. It doesn't move, yet its presence is warm, peaceful, as if the entire garden exhaled a sigh of comfort the moment it arrived. This panda was never born in a forest. It began life as an empty bottle, tossed, forgotten, until hands shaped it into joy. Painted in classic white with jet black ears and limbs, this little creature now smiles eternally. Its arms curve inward, as though hugging its own chest, and round eyes sparkle with hand-drawn warmth. It sits not in bamboo, but among color, bold reds, deep purples, soft oranges, each flower rising from a planter once meant for landfill. These planters, trimmed from bottle bottoms, form a ring of upcycled delight. Scalloped edges mimic flower petals, and bright, childlike paint adds charm. Some pots even feature hand-painted sunflowers or swirls, personal touches that make the garden feel truly loved. To make your own hugging panda, use a large round bottle for body. Paint it in soft matte white, then add black limbs with curved shapes. Let the arms wrap the front. For the eyes, exaggerate the size and add tiny white glints for life. Surround your panda with bottle bottom pots. Color them boldly and fill them with flowers that mirror joy. This isn't just a planter set. It's a scene, a feeling, a story told with recycled grace and quiet celebration. Because sometimes all a garden needs is a soft hug and a few blooms to remind us how much life can grow from what we thought was nothing. Where flamingos pose and water dances from plastic, some gardens whisper with wind and flowers. Others sing. This one performs. A quiet ballet of grace and motion, where a pink flamingo watches a stage of water rising and falling in rhythmic joy. This flamingo never knew a swamp. It was built from scraps, a tall, proud silhouette of plastic bottles and wire. Its body glows in shades of coral pink, painted with love and maybe a little laughter. Its neck arches delicately, curving with an elegance that defies its humble origin. The legs, slender and balanced, are anchored into soft soil near the pond's edge, where they cast long shadows on a sunny day. But just beyond the flamingo, the show begins. A towering water fountain rises, not of stone, but of plastic. Layers of green and blue bottles are stacked and sliced into open flower forms, spinning slightly with the water's motion. From the topmost bottle, a gentle stream shoots upward, then cascades gracefully down the tiers, catching light like falling glass. Below, koi fish swirls have entranced. Together, the flamingo and fountain create a duet. Stillness and flow, elegance and movement. Want to recreate it? Use a few large bottles of fountain base. Cut and fold the rims outward like petals. Stack them with a rod to the center, using small spaces for layers. Add a small submersible pump to send water to the top. For the flamingo, bend wire into legs and insert into a bottle body painted soft pink. Add a curved neck made from tubing or more cut plastic and paint on the beak with care. This is no longer trash. It's theater. And in the calm of your garden, it reminds you beauty doesn't have to shout. Sometimes it simply stands tall and lets the water dance. A garden fleet that floated from trash and imagination. Drifting slowly down a quiet stream, a row of colorful rafts catches the light. Pink, blue, yellow, each one a circle of color moving gently through the water. But these aren't boats from a store. They're recycled tires. And aboard each one, a frog, bright green and grinning wide, made entirely from plastic bottles. This whimsical procession turns a peaceful garden pond into a floating storybook. Each raft is a little world. The tire filled with soil, bursting with green herbs and wildflowers. Perched on the edge, a frog crafted with humor and care, bottle body, painted smile and cartoonish eyes. In its hands, a fishing stick made from a branch, with a silver spoon as an oar or a lure. It rose nowhere, but its presence moves something in you. The entire scene feels like a fable, a story whispered through ripples. To create your own garden fleet, use old tires as floating planters. Paint them in vivid colors using outdoor acrylics. Fill with lightweight soil and water-loving plants like marsh grass or succulents. Anchor the tire if needed with fishing line tied to a garden stake. Your frog can be made from a small bottle, cut and shaped into legs, arms, and eyes. Use glue to hold spoons or twigs as props. Let them float on ponds, shallow creeks, or even large garden tubs. Add as many frogs as you like. Give each one a name, a job, a mood. This is where upcycling becomes storytelling. A parade not of power, but of playfulness. A reminder that even the stillest water holds the possibility of adventure, especially when guided by a grinning frog and a silver spoon. The turtle who watched the water sparkle. At the edge of the pond, where stone meets stillness and water begins its dance, a little turtle waits, not to move, but simply to watch. With eyes wide and shell-polished in brown and orange hues, it leans slightly forward, as if listening to the soft music of the fountain nearby. This turtle was never born. It was built, From a simple plastic bottle, its body came to life. The shell, lovingly painted with careful arcs and rings, glows warm in the sun. Its head peeks from the cut top, with a smile so innocent it melts your rush. Bottle caps for feet, a blue one for a cap, and a gaze that's somehow curious. Just a few feet away, a bottle fountain rises like a blossom. Clear, upcycled plastic arcs water in gentle streams, catching light in midair. The splashes ripple outward, and the koi below glide as if choreographed. Together, turtle and fountain create a quiet companionship, motion and stillness, joy and peace. Want to build your own turtle companion? Use a round-bottom plastic bottle for the shell, painting it with natural tones and gentle patterns. The head can be sculpted from the neck, with eyes drawn or glued on. Bottle caps serve as the perfect stubby feet. For personality, add a tilt to the neck or a hat from a leftover lid. Place it somewhere it can watch, near a fountain or under a shady leaf. This turtle won't move, but it might move you, because in every garden, there's room for a little watcher, a reminder that even in stillness, life is always happening. And sometimes it's enough just to sit back and enjoy the view, where piggies play in ponds of imagination, not far from the garden path, where koi fish glide and water whispers against stone. A curious little piglet stares out from the pond, not with squeals, but with a painted grin and eyes full of mischief. This pig isn't muddy, nor born of straw or brick. It was once a plastic bottle, tossed aside after serving its first purpose. But with a touch of pink paint, some cheerful ears, and a corkscrew tail made from string, it became something entirely new, a piggy pond character with personality to spare. Its round belly floats gently in the shallow water, for pink legs balancing it just above the surface. A red string peeks from its snout like a tongue, playful and odd. Around it, ripples dance, spun by a companion fountain made from another upcycled bottle. Water leaps from the top, arcs, and lands again, creating a conversation between creature and current. Want to bring your own piggy to life? Choose a clear plastic bottle for its transparency. It gives dimension when filled with water or light. Paint soft pink accents for ears, snout, and feet. Use hot glue for legs made from cut caps or thick foam. The eyes? Just a black marker and a hint of sparkle. And don't forget the tongue. It's the detail that makes people laugh. Place it in a pond or bird bath. Secure it lightly so it won't drift away. Let it become part of your backyard's gentle symphony. Because sometimes, the silliest creatures become the most beloved. And when they come from your own hands, they carry not just paint and plastic, but joy, humor, and the beauty of reimagination. A parade of penguins in the fountain they loved. Some creatures live in snow, others in fantasy. But these penguins, they live in your backyard, standing proud on the soft grass, cheering on a fountain built from bottles. Their community filled not with chatter, but with character. Each penguin is different. One stands tall and stately. Another is squat and smiling. One has a bottle cap bow tie. Another a painted scarf. Made from plastic bottles painted black and white. These penguins line the pond like an audience gathered for a garden performance. And in the middle, a whimsical water fountain, made from a single blue bottle at the base, then layered with spiral-cut plastic that sends water downward in curls and steps. Sunlight hits the arcs of falling droplets, creating brief moments of rainbow shimmer. The koi below don't mind the crowd. They swim calmly through the scene, as if used to this quiet circus. But the real magic isn't in the water. It's in the way these penguins feel alive. Together, want to build your own penguin community? Use smooth cylindrical bottles for the bodies. Paint them in classic black and white, tuxedo style, with orange beaks and feet made from foam or caps. Vary their sizes by using smaller bottles or trimming heights. Give each penguin something personal, a ribbon, a blush, a hat. Place them around your pond or flower bed in a playful pose. They don't move, but somehow they are movement, a frozen cheer, a story unfolding in stillness. Because what begins as a single recycled bottle becomes something more when it stands beside others, a community. One that welcomes water, wind, and wonder. And in that joyful circle of penguins, your garden gains a little heart. The bunny that brought laughter to flowers. He's not serious. He's not elegant. He's not even quiet. He's the bunny who makes the garden smile. Standing tall, a little cross-eyed, with buck teeth and a mischievous pink nose, forever frozen in a moment of cartoon delight, made from a plastic bottle and a burst of imagination. He has no real fur, but all the personality of a backyard legend. This bunny, painted in soft gray-blue tones, was born from scraps. His long, floppy ears bent at awkward angles, glued lovingly to the bottle's top. His cheeks puffed slightly outward, and his whiskers, drawn on with permanent marker, twitched playfully in the breeze. He's the kind of character that kids giggle at and grown-ups secretly adore. But he doesn't come alone. Lined up beside him is his garden patch. 5 small planters, each cut from the base of the bottle, painted in cheerful colors and planted with real blooms. These upcycled pots form a semicircle around the bunny like adoring fans. Bright reds, sunny yellows, deep purples. The flowers lean toward him as if drawn to his charm. How to bring your own bunny to life. Start with a large bottle. Paint it in pastel colors, gray, cream, or even sky blue. Cut out ears from foam or thick plastic and bend them gently before attaching. Draw sleepy or goofy eyes, a pink nose, and 2 oversized front teeth for that unmistakable bunny grin. Surround it with colorful mini planters, each filled with flowers that feel like spring. This bunny doesn't move, but it brings motion of mood, of laughter, of love. Because not every garden needs perfection. Sometimes, all it takes is a silly smile in the right place, and suddenly, the whole garden is grinning with you, where flowers spin and water dances in midair. You hear before you see it, a soft trickle, a rhythmic splash, like laughter tucked between leaves. Then it appears, a fountain unlike any other. No marble, no stone, just plastic bottles, reshaped into a graceful waterfall of blossoms. At its base, the pond is calm. Real fish drift slowly. But rising from its center is a sculpture of creativity, a vertical fountain built from layers of cup bottles, each transformed into petals that catch light like glass. Some are pale blue, others are clear as crystal. All spin slightly as water glides across their curved forms. From the top, a gentle stream falls. It hits the petals and flows, then splashes. Each tear slows the drop, turns it, and sends it off again in a dance of glistening rhythm. Around it, bottle planters filled with living blooms echo the shape, nature and craft speaking in harmony. Want to create this poetic cascade? Collect several bottles of different sizes and clarity. Cut them into starburst or flower shapes by slicing the sides and curving the pieces outward. Stack them using a thin central rod or skewer. Use spacers like small bottle caps or tubing. Between each flower layer, install a small pump at the bottom to feed the water up, just enough to rise and fall, not rush. For a more magical touch, use soft pastel colors and layer transparency with bold hues. This fountain isn't just decor. It's motion, memory, and meaning all spun into one. Because in the quiet of a garden, where plastic becomes petals and water becomes music, we're reminded, with enough imagination, even waste can bloom. Where gardens drift and tires find new purpose. A pond could be many things. A mirror for clouds, a dance floor for koi, or, in this case, a farm that floats. Here, in the calm of a backyard garden, an old tire becomes a cradle for life. Once destined for waste, it now carries soil and seedlings like a small green island drifting in slow motion. The tire's edge is painted in sunburst yellows and ocean blues, turning what was once hard and forgotten into something soft, living, and new. Inside, basil leaves reach for the light. Marigolds bloom beside sprigs of rosemary. The water hugs the planter gently, rocking in the rhythm only nature knows. And this floating farm is more than just pretty. It teaches resilience, that growth doesn't always need land. That beauty can begin with rubber and rust. That food, flowers, and fragrance can rise from anything, even the things we once threw away. Want to try this serene and sustainable setup? Choose a sturdy tire and clean it thoroughly. Paint the exterior with weatherproof colors, adding designs that speak to your style, floral, tribal, or abstract. Line the inside with a breathable fabric like burlap. Then layer with soil. Use lightweight plants, leafy greens, herbs, or shallow root flowers. Add some stones to balance weight. Anchor the tire gently with fishing line to prevent drifting too far. And then just let it float. Watch how it catches light, how birds come near, how your tiny farm becomes part of the pond's slow conversation. This is gardening without fences, creativity without rules. It's letting nature and nurture meet halfway, softly, beautifully, on the water, where fire warms the earth and bottles become art. Nestled in the corner of a backyard filled with scent and sunlight, a little oven hums with warmth, not from wires or fuel, but from earth, air, and hands that believed in simplicity. Built from clay and straw, shaped by palms and patience, this outdoor oven rises like a sun-baked dome from the ground. Its base, a tire once left to rot, now filled with cob and topped with care, it holds something timeless, the memory of fire meeting food. But what catches the eye isn't just a flame. It's the skin of the oven, alive with color. Broken tiles shimmer like stories. Bottle caps, once twisted and tossed, now shine like coins from a forgotten land, each one embedded by hand into the drying clay, creating a mosaic that celebrates waste, culture, and joy. This oven doesn't just bake bread, it bakes connection. Pots hang from nearby hooks. A bench sits in the shade for evening feasts. Herbs, rosemary, thyme, basil, grow close enough to pick and toss onto warm loaves. And as the smoke rises, so does a sense of belonging, of return to something ancient yet new. Want to build your own garden oven? Start with a strong base, tires filled with gravel or compacted cob. Shape the dome using a sand mold, then cover with layers of clay mixed with straw. Let it dry slowly. Decorate before it's fully set. Press in bottle caps, tiles, or even marbles. Fire it slowly at first to strengthen the structure. This oven isn't just a tool. It's a story told in soil, fire, and forgotten materials. A place where meals are shared, waste becomes wonder, and warmth lives long after flames go out. The birds that gather by the fountain. There's something joyful about birds. The way they gather, tilt their heads, and seem to gossip with feathers and glances. Now imagine a flock that never flies away. One that brightens your garden every day. Not with chirps, but with color, character, and a splash of creativity. These birds weren't born. They were made from bottles once left behind. Each one stands with pride around the pond, painted in bright blues, fire reds, sunshine yellows. Their beaks are long and bold, their eyes wide with mischief or curiosity. Some flap wings made from fan-like plastic cutouts, while others stand tall, feathers curled like ribbons. At the center, a bottle-based fountain sends water dancing into the air, its gentle rhythm echoing like birdsong. The water trickles down from a spiral made of transparent plastic, catching the sun and scattering it in 1,000 directions. It's a parade, a celebration, and they're all here for it. To create your own bird parade, collect bottles of all sizes. Use smaller ones for heads, larger ones for bodies. Cut wings from bottle sides. Curl with heat or scissors for motion. Beaks can be made from painted foam, plastic scraps, or even folded cardboard. Eyes? Go big. Cartoonish eyes give life. Attach legs from wire or small sticks and anchor them in pots, around fountains, or even on the lawn. You don't need them to fly. You just need them to stay. And when they do, you'll find they bring more than decoration. They bring presence. The kind that makes people pause, look closer, smile. The kind that says, yes, this was trash, and now it's a story worth stopping for. A snail that carried a garden on its back. In the quietest corner of the garden, where sunbeams wander and tiny leaves gnaw gently in the wind, a small snail rests. But unlike others, this one carries not just a shell, it carries life. Shaped from a plastic bottle, this snail planter is full of charm and a dash of magic. Its body, sleek and simple, has been painted in earthy tones. From one end, a smiling head peeks out, two long eyes raised in playful curiosity. They seem to ask, what did you plant today? The shell is the heart of the piece. Coiled like a spiral of story, it holds a nest of succulents, thick, fleshy greens that love the sun. Jade, echeveria, even a sprig of string of pearls trails gently down the back. The soil sits securely in a carved and sealed spiral, A tiny garden wrapped around the snail's form like a backpack of bloom. Want to try your own garden snail? Use a large plastic bottle for the base and a second one to shape the spiral shell. Cut and curve it using heat or wire to maintain structure. Line the shell interior with breathable fabric or mesh to hold soil. Add lightweight succulents that require minimal watering. The eyes can be made from bottle caps or foam balls on skewers. Paint with warm, organic colors to blend with nature. Place it somewhere it can greet the day, on a ledge, under a bush, or even by your front steps. This snail won't slither, but it will grow. And like the best garden companions, it will remind you, slow is okay. Beauty is small. And even the most unexpected forms, like a bottle or a snail, can carry something truly wonderful inside.